Hey guys, Pendy here. If you read the title, today I will be talking about as to why you shouldn't work for any Hispanic company, or at least the one I had to work for. So recently I just quit my job at a Hispanic market. And the reason for it is because, well, working for the company it just sucked. I didn't enjoy working for them. And the reason why I didn't like working for them is because the manager and the store director didn't really have any they didn't communicate well with their employees. That was my first problem with them. My second problem with them was that they underpaid us, and during the heat of the pandemic, while the other grocery stores and other supermarkets were giving their employees $15 an hour back in 2019, my market decided to pay us only $13 an hour, back in December of 2019, when everything was at its worst. And then, usually stuff like that, you would want to I guess quit immediately, because there's you're getting underpaid during a pandemic. You should just leave immediately. But I decided to stay for at first I was gonna stay for only 3 months, because I wanted the experience of working, and I was gonna go look for somewhere else to work somewhere else instead. And for some reason, I just haven't been able to find a job. And I've applied to different places, but I haven't had any luck. And then so I was pretty much stuck at the market for a year. And towards the end of the year, towards the end of the year, I went to my boss's office, and I asked him about if I could get a raise, and he told me that he was gonna give me a raise. Right, he told me that he was gonna give me a raise, and then at the beginning of the following year, beginning of this year, he didn't give me a raise. I didn't receive a raise. And the raise that I did get was the minimum wage raise given by the state of California. And it's something that pretty much a lot of companies get, companies like McDonald's and all that. They all get it. So his excuse for not giving me a raise was because we got the annual wage raise given by the state, so he didn't give raises anymore. So after he told me that, I put in my 2 weeks, and now we're here. I put in my 2 weeks. Before I put in my 2 weeks, or before I was able to talk to the boss, the boss, at the beginning of the month of this year, the beginning of was it January? He was gonna give me a raise, and then he went on vacation for the rest of the month, and then came back telling me that they don't give raises anymore, because they started giving the minimum wage raise. And then that's when I decided, you know what, you're not paying me enough. They also cut my hours for some reason. They stopped giving me more hours. I used to work almost worked about 32 hours a week, almost, maybe a little less. a little more, a little less here and there. But I went from like at least making like I went from having like, what was it, like, yeah, like 30, at least 30 hours, 20 hours, or no, more than 20 hours, like 20 something 20 something hours, almost 30 something hours a week. I went from that to making only like 10 hours a week. And I went from making like 300 a week to only like making just like 150 something a week. So I thought, this is bullshit, because you told me at the end of last year that you were gonna give me a raise, and then the beginning of this year you don't give me a raise. You give me a minimum wage raise, and you knew like the boss knew that I was asking for a raise, but he thought that I was like dumb or something, or that I was like stupid and I wasn't gonna realize that that the minimum wage raise wasn't what I was asking for. And then when sorry about that. When I found out, when I looked at the check and I saw that I didn't get a raise, and I went to go ask him, he was like, "Oh, we don't do raises because you get the minimum wage raise." And then, well, I decided, I was like, "Oh, well, I'm wasting my time here. You're not giving me enough hours. You're not willing to pay me anymore than the minimum. So I rather just put in my 2 weeks. I rather I'm sorry, I got something in my throat. What was I saying? Oh yeah. You weren't gonna pay me anymore, and you're not gonna be paying me enough, or you're not gonna be paying me more than the minimum, and then you don't want to give me any more hours. I used to work at least a minimum of 7 hours. Now I'm working 5 hours a day. It used to be like the minimum of 6 to 7 hours a day, and I used to work for like at least 4 to 5 days, even 6 days. I went from that to working only 2 days, 5 hours each day, each week. And then on top of that, when I go talk to my manager about getting more days, he'll give me like 1 extra day, and it would be just only for 5 hours. And then so instead of having just a week or a day of like 10 hours, I would get 15 hours. And then sometimes he would give me at like 2 more days, like 5 hours each, and no more than, or no less. I don't know why. Like, it's not like, oh, you might be, you probably was like you probably like were like a bad like employee or something like that. Like, maybe, I don't know, like maybe to them I was a bad employee, but according to like my coworkers and customers, a lot of customers seem to like me. A lot of coworkers told me, that they like me, that they think that I was like a hard worker, right? Because I do shit that nobody else fucking likes doing, like taking out the trash, shit like that. Like nobody, like almost like nobody that I worked with really liked doing that. None of the butchers really like taking out the trash. None of the coworkers like taking out the trash, and the ones that would take out the trash, they weren't here all the time. I was like always, pretty much always there. I used to work like almost like 6 days out of like the week, for like 7 something hours. And then out of nowhere, they decided to like just cut my hours, and then that's it. And then only give me like a little bit extra hours every time I asked. And then I got tired of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm wasting my time here. I'm not making enough money here. You don't want to pay me extra, or like $1 extra, because I'm making the minimum wage. And then, you know, so I quit, and then so now I'm looking for like a new job. I didn't have a plan, which was what you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just quit your job without having another job lined up. You know, but like I did it because I was just like tired. I was already frustrated with them. You know, and you know my boss like just lied to me and thought that I was like dumb or something. That I wasn't gonna realize that he didn't actually give me an actual raise. You know, he thought I wasn't gonna like notice or anything. You know, and I'm not dumb. You know, I'm not a dummy. You know, the dumbest thing I probably ever did at that job was or that place that I worked at was, you know, fill in an application for them. I regret filling out application since like day one. You know, it was like a mess because like since like day one they didn't know what they didn't know like not what to do with me, but like they told me, oh, show up, you know, at this day, this time, you know, go to this spot or whatever, and then somebody was gonna be there for me or to like show me whatever. And then I go, and then like the person that's supposed to be there, like they're not there and stuff like that. And then when they were teaching me how like to work at the place I ended up working at, I mean, they did a fine job at teaching me, but there was a lot of other things that they should have taught me that I didn't learn, and I know that I could just teach myself, and I did end up teaching myself, but there were some things that they could have like helped on like teaching me with, and I didn't. And you know, I had to teach pretty much myself everything. And on top of that, you know, it's an Hispanic market, so everyone that worked there and everybody that went to that market pretty much spoke Spanish, and my Spanish wasn't that good, and still not that great. You know, it's better than what it was before, but yeah, when I first started working, it was pretty bad. My Spanish was pretty bad. Luckily, I've practiced, you know, so it's a bit better now, but you know, it could have been, you know, it could have been better. You know, luckily, you know, I learned. And yeah. Since day one was like a total nightmare. What else? Yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of like bad, like not bad things like that, not like super bad things, but like a lot of like things like that shouldn't have happened that end up happening. You know, there was a lot of things like that could have been fixed, or that could have been dealt with differently. What else? And if you guys want to hear like those stories, like those like different stories about like, you know, like the shit that, you know, the place that I work with, or the place I used to work at, you know, like all the shit that they've done, all the bad stuff. Well, it wasn't like super bad, like over the top bad, but like all the stuff that could cause people to like leave and shit. If you guys want to hear about that, you know, leave a like, you know, comment down below that you want to hear more stories from this place. And I think that's gonna be pretty much it for today. You know, hope you guys, you know, enjoyed the video, And see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, and don't forget subscribe.